Okay, here we are. This would be part 1, September 14th, 2025, of Lou and Bob at the Two Old Guys Garage. Well, instead of Monday, yesterday, which would be Saturday, the melanized gear came in from Summit, and Lou went ahead and installed it. Now, we had a little bit of concern because when you look at the pictures of melanized distributor gears, most, but not all, show a dimpled look for the hardening process that's on the gear that makes them, quote, melanized. Well, after researching more, I found out that they're all not dimpled. There are some which are dark gray. So I checked at Summit before the part came in, and there actually was a customer review for the melanized gear that we got that said, hey, this doesn't look dimpled. Are you sure it's melanized? And someone came back and said, yeah, it's melanized. They don't have dimpling. So the next thing is 0.491 shaft dimension, melanized distributor gear for Chevrolet. That's what come out of this box. So we're confident that this is in fact a melanized gear. So what we just did is we stuck the distributor in the manifold and down and engaged the gear, and we're not sure why, but from here to the top of the intake manifold no longer was rising up. It was like at least a 16th or more, right, Lou?
Yeah, it was quite a bit.
It basically fits flush, and I can barely get a 1/1000th feeler gauge in there. So based upon that, we want to put a gasket / shim here that raises it a little bit because the engine is cold, and of course when it warms up, this will heat up and expand, as will the rest of the stuff at the bottom. So at this point, then, we're using, what was this, 0.06?
Yeah, 0.06 let it do it.
Yeah, we're going to use this 0.06 gasket. Grease up the gears just in case, and then we're going to put this back in and then proceed on. And then once we get it in, we'll jack it up and put the tape on the crankshaft pulley. Okay, so I'm going to pause this here, and we're going to install this distributor in the engine. Be back in a bit. Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Bob and Lou at the Two Old Guys Garage. This is September 19th, 2025, and I got so much stuff to catch up on that I actually had to write it out so I wouldn't forget. So let me start with the last. This is part 74. This will be segment 2. Segment 1 was filmed or videoed 3-4 days ago, and here's what happened. I said pause, and we actually ended up 2 days to get the motor to start up. What we did is we had taken the other distributor, taken it out, and discovered that its vacuum advance was limited, didn't move the full amount of travel. So I installed the brand new vacuum advance in from what I had purchased earlier for the 32 that ended up not using. Okay, we got it in, and the engine would not spark to the cylinders. It would spark from the coil into the rotor, but it wasn't enough to jump the gap in the rotor to go to the plug wires. And we determined this in a couple of ways. One, by putting a spark plug on a wire and observing it, nothing. And then actually ended up using the timing light, the inductive pickup, to see if we had spark. We had plenty of spark triggering the strobe on the coil, and no spark on the leads going to the spark plugs. Crazy shit. We fought that for 2 days. Okay, we checked multiple times the timing of the distributor, the points dwell, the distributor and engine grounds, the coil voltage with the 12 volt to 6 volt ballast resistor and resistance. We checked the point capacitor in farads. We actually replaced the points twice, And we put on a new distributor cap and a used rotor, compared the coil comparisons of the existing to a spare used coil that I had. Everything matched. So we shut down after, so we decided to pull the old distributor out and install the previous crappy HEI Chinese pizza shit. We did that, and initially it didn't seem to want to start either. It just spins over with no firing. Within a short time, it did fire up and run. Lou was manning the ignition key while I set the timing. While doing this, Lou saw smoke coming out from the dash wiring. We shut down, and after examination and testing, we found the wire that runs the positive 12 volts to the two fans out front was shorted to ground inside the dash. After verifying and testing, both fans found to be okay. We repaired the bad connection and returned to tuning the HEI distributor, finding out that the HEI centrifugal weights are limited in range from normal. If I set all out max timing, as recommended by Bluepoint, to 34 degrees, the initial was too high, causing kickback when the engine was started up. So I had to set the max advance at 32 degrees to compromise to allow it to start. So why did the other distributor and the HEI initially not run? Well, the ignition 12-volt wire that shorted and burned seems to have occurred at the same time that the HEI started working initially.
I think that was it, Bob.
I know. Lou doesn't agree with me. Maybe the exposed connector part was intermittently grinding from starter vibration, drawing down the ignition voltage to the other external coil, which is already low from the ballast resistor, and then getting further low when the starting motor sucks down the battery and is turning over. The HEI uses 12 volts direct with no balance resistor, and of course it has a higher spark output. So at any rate, this HEI is still a piece of shit and should be replaced. If the theory is correct, the other distributor might allow it to run. We don't know. We may screw with that or not. We researched and found a reasonable HEI at Speedway Motors and ordered it. It has a steel drive gear and not compatible with the Blueprint. Yeah, the Blueprint. Yeah, with the Blueprint roller camshaft. But the shaft is, on the new one coming in, is at 0.49 with the diameter. So we can transfer the melanized gear we have to it okay, and we'll do so. We also got a set of valve cover Moroso wire looms for the spark plug wires, and that is what Lou is installing at the moment. And that's these guys. So that ought to help to make a better run for the wires from the back around the corner of the timing of the valve cover over to the screws. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, we're going to have to reuse these spark plug wires because the distributor doesn't come with a wire kit. But that should be all right. So we're waiting on that. What else, Lou, did we do? Oh, yeah.
I put a relay in for the fans.
Yeah, we decided that we'd get better operation from the fans if we had a fan relay out close to the fans, which we did. Once again, Amazon came through. We've got a... Where did you end up putting it, Lou?
Oh, that's underneath the dash.
Oh. Did you run heavy gauge wire?
Yeah, I got 12 gauge going too.
To the fans?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Lou has that installed. So now that wire that shorted out, and we had to replace the connector, is now carrying 12 volts to the fan relay. And the fan relay is picking up a stronger source of 12 volts through 12 gauge wires that goes to the fans. And as an addition, Lou actually hooked it up to the accessory side of the ignition key switch instead of the hot side to the coil, which means that he can now run the fans by turning the ignition switch to auxiliary to the left in case there's a situation when he parks or stops and he wants to run the fans to cool the radiators down while the engine is not going. Okay, so I got kind of a scratchy throat this morning. So I'm going to pause this and probably publish this later today when I get home. Catch y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, back after a pause. It's same video, part 74, segment 2. We've installed the Moroso wire loom clips and installed all the wires. And we checked and made sure we had all the firing order correct, started it up and run it. So we're ready to receive the Speedway new HEI, change the melanized gear, put that distributor in, time it, and then wipe our hands of this ignition for quite a while. So that is it. I will publish this part 74 later on today. Take care, you all. Bye-bye.